Hello, Statesman parents. My name is Mrs. Colson, and I am your child's math teacher this school year. This is my third year at Jefferson. I love working at Jefferson, and I look forward to getting to know all of your children. Today, I wanted to take this opportunity to explain to you how our classroom is set up and what tools we are using this school year. So first, I want to show you guys Google Classroom. Your child should have a Google Classroom for all of their teachers. This is what it looks like for them. I'm just going to hit first block. This is where my first block students go. And this is what it looks like for them. When they first sign in, they see the stream. This is the stream tab. So this is where any important announcements are made. I have my Zoom links here so that any Zoomers can easily Zoomers, my e-learners, I call them Zoomers, they can easily click here and get on Zoom. While we are talking about that, I want to point out that if for any reason your child is at home, they're quarantined, they're sick, for whatever the case may be, if they are well enough to learn, they can log on to Google Classroom, click the Zoom link, and then still participate in class. I teach live, so what my students are doing in class, the students at home are also doing. We go through notes, we go through examples, then we do practice. So they're still able to participate. So if your child's home and they're well enough to learn, if they need to rest, let them rest. But if they're able to learn, if they're quarantined or whatever the case may be, please have them log on to Zoom so that they don't get behind. All right, so then we go to classwork. And this is what it looks like each day. So for each day, I post the daily agenda. So like this was on Friday. They had a bell ringer, watch a help video if needed, finish a quizzes, and then do a review. So each day I post the daily agenda. And then we usually have notes in practice. So I just want to show you like this right here. Like on Wednesday, we had notes that we were going over. And when I post the notes, I post a blank copy of the notes, and then I post a copy of the notes filled in. So students, if they're absent, this is where they would go to be able to fill in their notes. Notes are really important because we have a composition notebook that we keep with all our notes and all our steps for solving problems. Your child has one of these. They actually just got their first notebook check, and if you open it up, they'll have this on the inside, and then it's out of 30 points. Most children have been doing great with keeping up with their composition notebook. Really important that we use our table of contents so that it's easy to find the notes, and then that we're filling in our notes. Most of my notes are printed out notes with steps on them, and then we fill them in as we go. And then sometimes I'll have like extra practice problems here for them to look at. For my Math 2 kiddos, these are the most recent notes that we've done. So it's one-step equations. They have steps for how to do it, and then we had additional practice here. After we go through the notes and the examples in class and guided practice, then we do our classwork. Classwork is usually a quizzes. I'm just going to scroll up here. Classwork is usually a quizzes, and it'll usually say practice, quizzes, two-step equations, like right here. And it's a website that we use where they're going to use this code to go to the quizzes that I have made for them to complete. And I make them, I pick the problems that go on it. And the reason why this is really great, and I'm just going to show you guys an example of what the quizzes looks like for students. The reason why I use this is because it allows students instant feedback. They can instantly see whether they're doing a question correctly or incorrectly because it shows them. So they would click that link, they would enter the code that was there. So I'm going to go ahead and enter the code that was there. And then it's going to ask us to enter our name. Sometimes it'll pre-populate. And then we click start. And this is classwork. We do it in class. If they do not finish at home, then they have until 8:30 the next morning to finish. Okay, so this is what it looks like for the student. They would read the question and then they would pick their answer. Now, all of my students I have went over with them the expectations for all of our classwork, not just quizzes. So when we are doing quizzes, we have to write down all the problems, show our work, and then put a check or an X next to each problem. So the check is if you got it right, the X is if you got it wrong. Now the reason why we're doing all this work is because they can take each quizzes up to 3 times. And I will take the highest grade from those 3 quizzes that they take. They don't have to do it 3 times, but they can if they want to get a higher grade. Now, they're going to write down their problem. They're going to show their work on here. They're going to put a check if they got it right, an X if they got it wrong. The second time they go and take it, they're going to have lots of right answers on this paper, hopefully. They're going to have their work and they're going to have the right answers. So when they take it again, they already have most of the work already done. The only ones that they are having to redo are the ones that they got wrong. And this is really important because that's where we learn the most. We have to analyze where our errors are and then fix them so that we don't make those same mistakes in the future. So that's a little bit about quizzes and the expectations for that. So this is what it looks like for them. It says in the following expression, which is the variable? So they would need to tell me, based on these answers down here, which is the variable. Now, if they get it right, it's going to turn green. If they get it wrong, it's going to turn red. So if we get it right, it's going to turn green. And they get that instant feedback. So they know, okay, I'm doing this correctly. In the following expression, which is the coefficient. Now, if they get it wrong, if I said the coefficient is 2, it's going to be red, and then that's going to let them know, uh-oh, I need to go look back at my notes, and I need to double check, why am I getting this wrong? So quizzes is a really great tool for the students to get that instant feedback. A lot of times with worksheets, I won't know that a student's doing it wrong, or actually the student won't know that they're doing it wrong until several problems later, and then they get really frustrated because they put all that work in and then they were just messing up on this one step. So this way they're getting that instant feedback. They are able to use their notes. They can always use their notes. They should always have this out on their desk using it. They need to bring it to class every day. They can use their notes to complete the classwork. The only time they cannot use their notes is on a test. And for quizzes, they can take the quizzes up to 3 times, and I will take the highest grade. Now, like I said, we do the class notes in class. We do guided problems together. We practice some independent problems. Then they do the quizzes. That's our classwork. If they do not finish the classwork in class, then it becomes homework. I don't really assign homework unless they don't finish something in class. They will have, if they have to go home and finish it, they will have until 8:30 the following morning to complete it. So they have that night, and then it's due by no later than 8:30 in the morning the next day. That's when I take the grades down for how they did, and then I update the grade book. So hopefully that clarifies that a little bit for you guys. Something else that I wanted to mention is that Google Classroom is a really great tool for students to be able to look. If they missed something, they can just go to the day that they were absent and find what they were missing. They can find the notes. They can fill them in. Also, I will post like extra help videos. If this says extra help here, then that's for any students that need extra help. They need an extra video to watch or some more examples to see. Now, if they're doing great, then they don't have to watch the videos. I just post those for anybody who needs that extra help. And again, on my Google Classroom, there is the Zoom links posted for the class, and then I also have a Zoom link for tutoring. Tutoring is every Wednesday morning from 9 to 9:25. Students do not need an appointment. They can come and see me whenever they want, whenever they feel like they need extra help. No appointment necessary. Come on Wednesday and I'll help you. Any students that aren't able to get here physically by that time, they can also log on to this Zoom link that I will be doing on Wednesdays, and I can help them via Zoom. I hope that answers most of your questions, if not all of your questions. If you have any more questions for me, please feel free to hop on Zoom on open house night and ask me any of those general questions you have. If it's more specific to your child, I encourage you to email me or call me and we can talk, or if we need to, we can set up a time to meet. All right, have a good night.